I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Rules Committee of the Representative Town Meeting of Darien. And the first item on the agenda is approving the minutes for December 13. Can I have a motion to approve, please?
I'll make that motion.
And a second? Okay, comments. I have one. There was, with deepest respect and affection for the secretary, there's a sentence in there that I'd like to revive. If you go to I think it's the second to last line there in the minutes, it says the moderator, not the legislature, has redistricted. It's all jumbled there. I would like to substitute the state for that sentence. The state legislature has redistricted the voting districts in the town of Darien for the House of Representatives and the state Senate. The Rules Committee addressed changes required by the town to deal with the state redistricting. That's okay with you? I'd substitute that sentence.
Absolutely. Do you happen to have that you can send it? I'll cut and paste it, or you want me to?
I'll send it to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other?
Yes, I have another correction. Mark?
Yes.
Where it said Jack Davis made a motion and Frank Kemp seconded to
Yes.
meet virtually. I made a motion to not meet virtually.
Okay, a tweak. I'll make that tweak.
That's a material change.
Just it's a little tweak.
I don't know how I went right over that one.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
Duly noted, Mr. Davis.
And I apologize. I meant to send that to you previously.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Any other corrections? Okay, so we're ready to vote. Are there any no votes to approving the Rules Committee minutes as amended? Seeing none, it's unanimous. We'll move on to the next item.
That abstentions. My favorite line.
Abstentions. Thank you very much, Mrs. Snyder.
Once a meeting, I have to do that.
Is that? Oh, Michael.
I will abstain since I wasn't at the meeting.
I got you.
I'm
Thank you,
going to
Patty.
make a correction on that. Robert's Rules of Order says that just because you weren't at the meeting, you no longer
Doesn't.
need to abstain. What you're voting on is the veracity of the minutes as taken by your clerk. And since Mark has great veracity, I don't think we need to.
Thank you, Jack. Then I will retract my abstention, and I will vote
And
yes.
to be clear, Mr. Caslow, you may vote as you see fit. Sir.
I understand that. I understand that. But with Jack's clarification, I will make it unanimous.
All right. It is unanimous. Lovely. Next, just items for discussion and assigning committees. Just updating on the rewrite of the standing committee descriptions, etc. Jack's got a thing going. He's working on his. Frank's working on it. It's not ready yet, but that's what's going on.
And Frank and I have been talking, so we're good to go.
Oh yeah, no, we wouldn't want to be recording the dialogue because there's a lot of it. It's very good. Okay.
Spicy words in there.
We did get some things back on the Muni code. This is Muni code. We did get a first pass at that back. It wasn't very good, and Frank's been talking to Wayne Fox, and they sent the thing back to be redone. with some changes in it, and I think it'll be much better when it comes back and is ready. RTM Appendix B, modification of the newspaper. Let me see if Krista is here. No, I don't see Krista, but this is one of her favorites.
There, she's muted.
She's on.
Oh,
She's on, Seth.
at any rate, the question is whether we
Hi,
should.
Krista.
Yeah, hi, Patty.
No, that's Krista.
I got Patty Baumgartner. I swear that's her.
Krista's still
It is
muted.
Patty. Patty's there also, but Krista's here as well.
There's Krista.
Seth.
Hi, there you are.
I'm right here, Seth. Hello, everyone.
Yes, this is one of Krista's favorites. And Wayne came up with two options for us. He said, you can just abolish the need to publish in the newspaper at all, or you can put it in to do 5 days instead of 10. 5 days notice instead of 10. My suggestion to you would be that you put it in to abolish it altogether. And then if we get a lot of resistance, we could amend it to add 5 days. We could change it to 5 days on the floor. But rather than put up two options or sit here ourselves and try and make a decision, I think we have the ability on the floor to amend it to 5 days if we want to, if it doesn't seem too popular. I'm open to suggestions on this one. Yeah, Jack.
Seth, I agree, but I wouldn't even tell the RTM that we have a 5-day option. I think this is a no-brainer. We can eliminate it. Since we're here to assign committee, TGS&A is number one. I spoke to Kate, and the total savings is about $1,000. We can report, but this is more of an efficiency and staff savings and time and not going crazy in the town clerk's office as it is to what the actual cost of the posting is. So, but if you want, I would definitely recommend primary TGS&A, and if you want F&B secondary, that's fine, and that's my motion to move this forward.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that, Seth.
Yeah, and we're talking now about eliminating the requirement altogether, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so we're going to use that motion. All right. Yes, Adele?
Just remind me what the requirement is for, just exactly what we're eliminating.
Right now, the requirement is 10 days. You have
For
to get
what?
10 days, and it has to be published in the newspaper.
I hear that, but what has to be published in the newspaper?
The warning,
The
Our warning. Okay, the RTM warning.
right?
legal
Thank you.
notice that the savings, I'm sorry, Jack, just to add on to what you've said, and thank you for all for considering this idea. I mean, each ad or legal notice, I should say, in the Stamford Advocate, it runs about $150. And is this really the best use of the town's money? Is there other places we could be spending it? And is it really serving its purpose? Are people really reading it in the Darien Times? So those are the two objectives that I was kind of thinking when I proposed this.
And as a functional matter, if it's in the Darien Times, being a weekly publication,
That's right.
if it's not going to be 10 days, and if it's only 5 days, that's basically zero.
Right. It's also a timing issue. The 10 days, meaning that the warning would have to be in by tomorrow by 11 o'clock, which doesn't give the rules nor the moderator the time perhaps to create the agenda. So
Can I move this along only because there's more committees to be assigned and I'm leaving in about 20 minutes?
All right, so Jack, I'll take a motion from you to eliminate the requirement for a newspaper publication and to assign TGS&A primary, F&B secondary. Is that okay?
Yep. Seconded by Mike. Can we vote?
Ready to vote? Are there any no's? Seeing none, hearing none, it's unanimous. Next, we have the state Senate and the State House of Representatives voted to redistrict the voting districts in the town of Darien. We have to assign committees to do that. The RTM would have to vote any changes in any districts. There is money involved and it's TGSNA. So my thought would be TGSNA and F&B secondary.
I
That's
would
not
make that motion, Seth.
okay. A second. All right. So are there any no's? Any abstentions?
Can I just ask a question on that?
Sure.
The RTM has to vote on that because I thought because it affects our district, District 1, and it's affecting us in 3 spaces. So our district is going to be divided into 3 different polling places. And Chris is now saying
We
4.
don't know at this point. At this point in time, it would be TGSNA working with.
What I'm asking is, are you sure that RTM even gets to vote on this? And it's not just a state or Hartford mandate?
No, we get to vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Period.
That's
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
So, motion to assign TGSNA and F&B.
I'll make the motion.
Patty?
We already made the
We
motion.
made it. It's
Okay,
voted.
all right. We ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay, are there any no's? Don't see any. Any abstention? I don't see any. Passes unanimously. Okay, the main reason we gotta have this meeting is to correct, believe it or not, is correcting the minutes on the bond issue. On that one, that's pretty much F and B, I think.
Beth, I have a quick question on that.
Yeah,
While there are 3 separate motions, can you check with Wayne whether or not we can move the 3 separate motions but vote on it at one time?
yeah.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Any other comments? Okay, so can I have a motion to assign F and B? Okay, I got a Jack putting his hand up. Second, please. I thought I saw Patty's hand up there.
Yes.
All right. Ready to vote? Are there any no's? I don't see any. Are there any abstentions? It's unanimous. Next item is the town employees contract. It's not baked yet. It's still, I don't think the union has voted on it yet.
Can Mark mute himself?
Say again?
Is anyone else hearing all that background squeaking?
Here.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the town employees contract is still in the works, but it doesn't mean we can't assign a committee to it. It'll be coming to us for February, I think. So that would be F and B. Now, there are technically different areas of the town incorporated in this, like, there are employees for different things. I'm wondering if we just want to assign the entire thing to F and B, because it's mostly talking money. And I'm open to your thoughts on that. Yes, Jack.
While I do know that it covers all the clerks in town hall, the thing that has taken time on this is it covers the 9 employees for the civilian dispatch, and they have some unique things there. So I would propose that it's F&B and public health and safety to address the civilian dispatch aspects of it.
Okay.
Also, just for everyone's knowledge, it's my understanding based upon our conversation, I know Seth's had a similar conversation with Kate, that the RTM has 30 days to approve, or actually not to reject the contract after the union votes on it. So if they do not vote prior to our RTM meeting, but vote between our RTM meeting and the 29th, I believe, 28th, 29th of January, there is a chance that we will not get to vote on this contract, just so that everybody's aware of that. All right,
There's another,
unless we hold a
what's that other
special meeting.
stipulation though, Jack? There's another stipulation about when we accept it or when we register it in the town clerk. Is that right, Krista, in the town?
I thought that was the case because I know we do that with the Board of Ed, and we've held back on the Board of Ed. But in speaking to Kate, I don't think that's the case in this one, at least based upon what my conversation with Kate was. Because otherwise, I was right there with you, Seth.
I'm happy to talk to Kate tomorrow. That helps.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yes, please do. But I think that Kate's going to say that on this contract, it's 30 days from when the union approves. So unless we want to have a special meeting, which I have no problem with, but understand that the week before we meet is winter break. Not that I know that everybody's flying out to go places in February, but you know, that people can still, sign in from the slopes. But that's the only other option that I just wanted everybody to be aware of. But
Oh,
yes, so the motion on the floor is.
I wonder if we could, the question is, of course, when they voted on it, we could add it to the agenda. You could mail out the contract ahead of time and add it to the agenda.
Well, we cannot see the details of the contract until it's discussed at the Board of Selectmen meeting.
Right.
And I'll put in a call to Monica because Jamie was very good in the past when these situations occurred to allow RTM committees to have a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen, that after the Board of Selectmen asked their questions, the RTM committees could ask their questions and we could vote immediately afterwards. I've also slated an F&B meeting for the 20th of January, which Kate will attend, just in case they get to it before that date, so we can discuss it at that time. If not, we can have a special meeting on the 24th, since the Board of Selectmen meet before us, vote on it and bring it to the floor, if in fact they do it on that day.
All right.
So we have some things lined up.
We got a
just in
plan.
case. Yeah.
All right. All right. Good. So just can I have a motion then on the town employees contract to put, what, F&B primary and PH
Yeah.
and PH
Yes.
and secondary?
Yep.
Okay, Jack's got a motion. We got a second. Here you go, Teresa. Teresa's seconding. Okay, ready to vote. Are there any no votes on this? I see none. Are there any abstentions? I see none. Motion passes unanimously. Next, assigning RTM members to committees. District 6.
Do you want me to take it, Peter? So our district, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So our district met last month, right after our rules meeting, actually. And we have 4 new people. And just so you all know, Rob Werner resigned. So we had 5 people originally for 3 spots, and then all of a sudden we had 5 people for 4 spots. So anyway, So we are proposing adding Sandra Conway to PZ&H, even though we already have a couple of people there, but we have a big thing. The big project happening right now is in our district, and it's been getting a lot of people within our district at those meetings. So I think an extra person on PZ&H would be a good thing for us. Ali Costanza, we have 2 spots for public health and safety. So Ali Costanza and Michael Kadish, and then TGSNA David York.
So Conway to PZ&H.
Yes.
And where does Kadish go?
Public health and safety. So Ali Costanza and Michael Kadish to public health and safety. They're District 6, by the way.
Got it.
Why are you putting 6 on that committee?
I'm not. I'm District 6, but you need.
No. But why are there 6 people? Am I understanding correctly? You're putting 6 people on public health and safety?
No, I don't have anybody on public health and safety in my district right now.
Yeah, Mike's got to scroll down to 6.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Just testing to see if you were looking, Lois.
I was looking. That
Your eyes are better than mine,
So-
Lois.
So Teresa, give me again who's.
Sure. So you're on public health and safety,
Yep, and it's Kadish.
Kadish and Costanzo.
Okay.
And didn't you also put somebody over Conway?
Conway
Conway
is,
on
That's got to
PZ&H.
be moved down.
Yeah,
That's
so you
gotta
have
be
to
moved
move
down.
Conway over here, down to here. I'm like pointing at my own computer as if you could see me pointing to my computer.
No, Conway's on PZ&H, Mike.
Yes, but you need to move her from district, you have her in the District 4 line, you need to bring her down to District 6.
Where did York wind up?
Cell D18 needs to move.
Right.
All right, so I'll take a motion to approve those assignments.
What about York and Mahoney?
Mahoney's not mine.
I was gonna go to Mahoney next.
Yes,
And
and
then that's it. All right. You can do Mahoney next if you want. We'll do them all at once. All right, Mahoney. That would be District 5.
Yeah, so I have her
can
survey.
we wait a minute. Can we wait till Mike gets this straightened out? So we
Oh, I
stay.
thought, okay.
So Mike, take Conway out of D18 and put her down under Love.
Teresa, while he's doing that, if I can just ask a question, on the spreadsheet, it says that District 6 will be eventually putting a new member on
And
TGSNA.
that's going to be York.
Thank you.
But not tonight.
No, tonight, yeah, that's York. York is sitting over there. Again, I'm pointing to my own computer. Okay, there you go.
York to TGSNA. Got it. Okay.
York, TGSNA. All right, there.
Thank you.
Okay. Good to go, Mark?
Yep.
Okay, and then District 5, Mahoney.
Yeah, I have her survey. Her first choice is Park and Rec, which already has at least 15 people on it. Second was Planning, Zoning, and Housing, which has 14. I know Adele is here. So Adele, is there any room for anybody on your committee or no?
Adele, you're muted. Adele?
Seldom I'm unmuted, but there you go. Yeah, there's always room for a little bit more, but that probably brings us to being full.
Okay.
My question is PZ&H, don't you already have 3 people there?
Well, no, her first choice is Park and Rec. So that's why I was
Right, and her second choice was?
Planning, Zoning, and Housing. Yep.
Right, so you already have 3 people there, and you only have
Correct.
2 on Park and Rec, so
Correct.
that's okay. All right,
It's all right. All right. So we'll put Alyssa Mahoney on Park and Rec then.
What district is she in?
Okay.
Five.
um,
District five.
we have agreement on that. Do we have a motion then to put Mahoney on Park and Rec?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, second, please.
Second.
Uh,
Joe
Thanks.
Maselli.
It's
Right.
Joe, I think, was a second on that.
Yep.
Great, ready to vote. Are there any noes? No. Any abstentions? Don't see any, it's unanimous.
Who was the
So,
second? Hey, Mr. Moderator, who was the second on that?
Joe Maselli.
Joe, got it.
Chris, I'll send you this now.
And did we also do a motion on 6?
No, we did not.
We did not.
Yeah, could I have a motion then on District 6 for Kadesh, Conway, York, and Costanzo?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. Like, who were those? Like, I didn't recognize the voice.
Teresa and Bob.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. No votes. I don't see any abstentions. I don't see any. It's unanimous. Okay, next item is this is mostly an announcement from me that the RTM needs a person to go onto the Blight Review Board and a person for the Town Technology Committee. In addition, I'll send out a letter to the RTM seeking members, but all of us, you literally have to, I hate to say this, but you have to call people in your district and say, look, do you sit in on meetings where people make technology decisions? In other words, do you get exposed to having to make these? You don't have to be actually responsible, but you get exposed to it. Are you in a position where you make decisions? You certainly would be qualified to serve on this technology committee. Blight Review, I think Blight Review is probably someone in real estate, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, so I'm stepping down from that so I can give a little context, and also something I think that's important to share. Knowing something about houses or architecture or real estate is fine, but it's not necessary. What I would say though, and this is a logistical thing that's important to note, is that those meetings are in person and there's no option to dial into them. So you'd have to have someone who's willing to do that at this point in time. And they happen on Wednesdays at 5:30 or 5:15 p.m. Candidly, I'm stepping down because I can't physically be at meetings on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock. But given that there are people that aren't comfortable with in-person meetings right now, I think it's important to share that.
All right, will do. Yeah, when I send a thing out to the RTM, I will do that. But it's also good for all of us to get on the phone and call people, because people don't naturally come out and volunteer in these situations. And so it's a question of discovering somebody who can do it and might be willing to do it.
I think Seth isn't part of that, besides the, that you might look at the public, the Public Health and Human Services ambulance. That not only is it real estate, but human services is part of the issue.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Terrific. The next one, so I will just send out a memo on both of those for the entire RTM and then see if we can stimulate some response. Invitation to guest speakers. David Knopf has agreed that he would do it. Lauren Nadras is the new lady, but she doesn't start until February 1st, so she's really not in a position to do it this at least at this time around. But Jessica Casey from Norwalk has agreed, and Francis Pickering also has agreed from the COG. So I've asked them for 10 minutes, and I'll do my best to keep it there.
Good luck.
So can I have a motion to put them on the agenda? Thank you. I got Mike. And a second there, Peter. Are there any no's? Okay, any abstentions? Okay, it's unanimous. All right, so the next is setting the agenda for the January 24 RTM meeting. And I sort of put a draft together that I sent out to you. I'll do the announcements there. As you can see, I put them on there. I put the presentations and then the motions to correct the minutes of June 8, October 19, and to amend Appendix B for the newspaper publication. Is that draft acceptable? Is there anything you'd like to change? Okay, can I have a motion to set the agenda then, as I've outlined? Patty, second. I saw Joe's hand there. All right. Good. Are there any no votes? I don't see any. Are there any abstentions? I don't see any. It's unanimous. Great. The next item is a report from the Rules Technology Committee. I might also say at this point that in error, I forgot to put new business after item 8. Without objection, I would add that to tonight. I don't know of any new business coming, but I'm supposed to put it on the agenda, and I missed it. If that's acceptable to everybody, are there any objections? Okay, good. So next is the report from the Rules Technology Committee. Lois.
Hi, I want to thank Mike and Mark, and actually Mac Patrick has been participating on our Rules Technology Committee. We're focusing on trying to get the ability to do hybrid meetings in town hall. That's really our focus for the time being. What we've done towards that is Greenwich is doing hybrid meetings for their RTM. The interesting thing is they have 235 members on their RTM, but when they do their hybrid meetings, only 20 to, on a special meeting, 50 people showed up. So that actually when they offered hybrid meetings, most of the people were virtual, and that's just point of information, which we will do some surveys when we get to that point. The other things we are aware of is the DCA is doing hybrid meetings, Board of Ed is doing hybrid meetings, and the Town Hall is working on hybrid meetings in room 206. So we believe that having hybrid meetings in Town Hall would benefit us. What we are currently doing is figuring out what the proposal is. We have a consultant that's going to draft something for us. We've talked through Seth. We work with Seth to talk to, there's ARPA funds, which are federal funds that are meant to support the infrastructure for COVID purposes, and that relates to the type of work that we want to do, which is the ability to have a hybrid meeting at the point in time that we can use it. So that is the path that we're pursuing at the moment. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts or any opinions on that? That's a quick summary of a lot of work, but that's where we are.
I'm just going to make a quick summary because we do have a RTM representative from F&B on the ARPA funds area, Martha Banks. So if we're moving forward on that, I would suggest that one speaks to Martha, but I also suggest that we have something in our back pocket because depending upon the cost, there is also the Board of Finance contingency fund, which, you know, they would be very foolish to deny the RTM request for that go into a budget season.
Jack, you would probably know or Seth, either one of you, does the ARPA plan have to be approved by the RTM, the different funding that we're going to do?
Yes, but but that's was I've had a conversation with Kate about that as they're trying to figure out categories and to determine whether or not we're going to do high-level categories such as public works, sewer improvement, as opposed to bringing every little project back to the RTM, which could be rather significant. So that's part of what's being negotiated now, is the difference between what's too high level and what's too low level.
Well, I'm
And
assuming,
we'll eventually get there.
Yeah, Lois, they've already had 3 ARPA meetings too. So someone may want to get in front of there's multiple contacts that are sitting on ARPA, somebody from Board of Finance, somebody from the Selectmen, somebody from F&B. So it would be a very timely time to reach out now.
yeah, we've started it, but we have more to do. Our project is probably very tiny compared to some of the other things they're doing, but we just need to make sure that there is a place for it. So we're really focusing on 2 things. One, working with thank you, Patty, working with the, getting in front of the committee, and Jack, I will take you up on that, and I will contact Seth with your permission. I will contact Martha Banks.
Well, it doesn't need Seth's permission for that. He's my representative on there.
Okay.
My understanding is that the ARPA committee is divided into 2 pieces. There's kind of like miscellaneous, and then there's the one that is actual infrastructure. And as I understand it, John Zagrodzky is running the actual hardcore infrastructure piece, and Kate is doing the miscellaneous things that you're the lowest what you're doing would fall under.
Oh, I attended one meeting. I watched one meeting of it, and it was an early meeting. I don't know if it's changed, but what I saw that that there was the infrastructure that John was in charge, but the infrastructure was Dan Bumgardner, and that
correct.
And then that there's I'm trying to keep it formal, Patty. And the second one had to do with the human service kind of issues. And the third piece was the miscellaneous, and that I thought it was my understanding we would fall under infrastructure. But I will follow up and make sure we get where we need to be. Jack, do you know if Martha's on the infrastructure piece?
I have no idea.
I believe she.
I talked to Dan.
We'll find out in about 10 minutes.
Yes.
I talked to Dan, and he was heading me toward Kate Bush.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would think that Kate is the initial point person in there, and then Kate can direct you where you need to go.
Okay. So, and along those lines, we have worked with a consultant who has a lot of experience doing a lot of things for the town, like the DCA and the Board of Ed, to get a proposal on how to do what we need to do in town hall. So more information as we do that, but we feel we're all the committee's in agreement that we've got a path to go forward, and we're trying to move it along. So that's where that piece is. The other piece, just to quickly, is we want to run the backup, if we need to do a quick and dirty, was to use some visuals. We need to understand how many people have access to to channel 79 using basic cable. So from that standpoint, we just need to know what percentage. Is it 90%? If we need to do something quick and dirty, we may use cable TV as part of what we do. Obviously, we'll let everybody know before we do anything, but we want to do a survey and find out how many RTM members actually have basic cable. So we're going to do a quick survey. The question will be, do you have access to basic cable TV in your home? And we're hoping that's pretty straightforward. So if anybody has a concern with that question, we're trying to stay away from other questions of using internet and other kind of things. So the question is, do you have access to basic cable TV in your home? Because if they do, then they have access to cable channel 79.
All right.
Okay. That's my report. That's our report. Thank you very much.
Yes, nice job, Lois. Thank you.
Lois, can you just tell me, when did Greenwich start the hybrid?
September is my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, they ran September through December. They had 20 people, and then December they had a special meeting honoring people. They had 50 members added. We also, Mike is if Greenwich is still running hybrid, the intention is for Mike to go to their hybrid meeting and go to their in-person meeting and find out what they're doing. But some of us have heard that Greenwich is running virtual, and if that's the case, but we also are in touch. We've started a contact, and we are going to get more information from the TV 79 person at Greenwich to understand what they're doing. We're trying to cover our bases to make sure we understand as much as we can before we come up with our proposal. Mike, do you want to add anything?
No, but Greenwich has been very generous in telling us how they're doing it. I just want to go down and take a look at how they do it. And it does require a person and a half from an IT for every meeting. So it does require additional personnel to handle the hybrid meeting. So it's not seamless.
And that's part of what we're looking at to understand when we get our proposal, what will it require on our end to make it work?
I want to say goodbye to everyone. See you guys on the next side.
It's always a
Bye.
pleasure, Jack.
Same here.
If that's Lois, are you set?
I'm finished. I'm
Okay.
good.
New business? Any new business? I see none. I'll take a motion to adjourn. From somebody. Yeah. Thank you.
Dan and Adele.
Can I have a second? Michael, I saw Michael waving his hand. Mike Wheeler.
No, I was
He-
pointing
the-
to Adele.
Adele, Ann and Adele.
Ann and Adele have their hands up.
Objections? I see none. Any abstentions? I see none. Have a nice day.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
all.
Night. Mike,
see you.
hang on a second, okay?
Meeting's adjourned.
Mike, it's Adele.